everyone, so welcome to today's video. This is going to be a good one. This is a full face of new products drugstore edition. I recently posted a similar video, but I did a high-end version, so a high-end edition using new things in my collection that I haven't had a chance to use on my personal time off camera. I have not featured them on videos. So I pulled those products and I did a full face. So we're doing the same thing today, but we've got so many new drugstore products to use. Some new, like I'm talking fresh off the press, new launches. I have some new things that are new to me, which might be a shocker to some of you that love drugstore content and drugstore products. To see me use something that it's been out for a while and I've never used it before is kind of shocking, right? So I've pulled some products out. We have so much to talk about. I am so excited to do this video. I put my hair up in a clip and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Skin prep is already done. I'm going to link my skincare products down below and my more recent skincare rotation video talking about skincare products that I'm using, what's an empty, what's new in my collection, what I'm gonna start doing, things that I'm changing in my routine for better skin health. So if you're interested in that, the description box is gonna have the link to that video. If you wanna see this look come together, let's get ready together and let's get started. I haven't seen a lot of new launches for primers. I will highlight some from CoverGirl that were a recent launch for the brand. I have already featured this specific primer in a previous video, so I will link videos that correspond with some of the products and kind of give you some more additional information on those products. But CoverGirl has the new True Blend Skin Enhancing Primers. I picked up one, the Velvet Blur, which I have used. Since that video was posted, I've used it a couple times, so I kind of have some thoughts on it. But they did recently launch a few new other skin enhancers that I'm going to be featuring in today's video. A bronzy one that's more glowy for highlight. The newest primer to my collection that has been out for a very long time. It's just new to me. It's the Master Prime. It's a primer base for blurring and smoothing from Maybelline. It says number 100, Blur and Smooth. It's a formula that's supposed to help visibly blur and tone imperfections and smooth fine lines. Prime skin for a smooth start, lightweight, non-oily formula, and does not clog pores. Something about this kind of makes me feel like it could be similar to the Smashbox primer. That's an OG classic that takes me way back to the early 2008 era where I discovered Smashbox, and they did have like a silicone based primer that was very similar. It's actually kind of packaged the same way with the squeeze tube. The foundation that I pulled from my drawer that is new, and just a side note here, I realized that the concealer and foundation complexion based products that I have already purchased, ordered before going on vacation will not be a perfect match for me right now. So keep that in mind. I did not anticipate getting this dark, and it's hard to tell because I'm wearing a t-shirt, but look at my arm and my face. It doesn't match, right? So I've got a lot of work to do with bronzing products and like powder bronzers, letting you know a little backstory as to why these matches. I'm not that bad at shade matching myself, but anyways, I ordered the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I have used this formula years and years and years ago. This is supposed to be a matte and poreless foundation for normal to oily skin. I would say my skin is combination oily mostly through the T-zone. The shade that I picked up is number 110 Porcelain. Obviously there's nothing porcelain about my arms, so we're just gonna have to make it work. And I think that's where this product from CoverGirl, the Skin Enhancer Jelly Bronze Glow, is really gonna come into play here. So I think I'm gonna use this maybe as a mix into this foundation. But before I do any sort of mixing, I want to start off with this blurring primer and just see where this takes me. Nothing like taking off the seal of a brand new product, right? To my surprise, this primer actually doesn't have a clear silicone look to it. It actually looks kind of like a moisturizer, so we'll see. That's kind of interesting. So I'm going to use the NYX foundation brush. This is the Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation brush to kind of push this into the skin and focus it more where I have larger pores. And go over the nose where I get oil production since we're in summer. This is a definite zone of concern for me, so I'm going to continue blending this in with the brush. Then I'm going to take whatever's left on my brush and just gently pat around the parameters of my face. I don't really need to be concerned too much with anything that's pore filling in this area, so I'm just going to use what's left on my brush just to even things out a little bit more. Show you on my makeup palette a swatch of what the porcelain color in the foundation looks like in case that's a match for you. You see it's a little bit more of a goldeny kind of color, which is what I typically go for if I can't find a good neutral tone. And then right next to it is a swatch of the Jelly Bronze Glow Skin Enhancer from CoverGirl. This formula from CoverGirl contains 2% squalane. It's a vegan formula as well. And on the back, it says it has 15% glycerin, which is very hydrating to the skin, and 2% squalane for a refreshing all-day hydration. Clinically proven to support skin's natural moisture barrier over time. Ultra-fine pearls enhance complexion for an all-over healthy looking glow with sheer flexible coverage. As I'm mixing this Jelly Bronze product from CoverGirl into the Maybelline foundation, it's looking a little clumpy, so I'm a little concerned if it's because of the gel mixing in with the foundation or if it's the pearls that's in it. So I did take some of that bronzing product just on my brush so I can do a swatch so you guys can see how golden that color is. And of course, when you blend these products out, it does leave a bit of a tint behind. And I don't personally like using these on their own because it makes me look muddy, and sometimes some of them can have an orangey undertone. So I'm not a fan of using them by themselves. I personally like to mix them into my foundation, but that kind of blended in and almost like disappeared into my skin. I don't know if you can see this general area. Does it seem darker than up here? I can't really tell a difference, to be honest with you. I think it's just much more of a sheer formula. So I'm going to continue mixing this into my foundation, and we're going to blend this in. I think I'm going to use my damp beauty sponge instead of a brush for foundation. And let's hope I did enough. I can't tell you the amount of foundation because it doesn't have a pump. It's just one of those that you just kind of pour out. But I did 2 pumps of the CoverGirl bronzing product, so I don't know. I may need to add some more, or maybe I can just use more bronzer on top. We'll have to see. We're going to keep playing around. That's the beauty of makeup. You play with it, have fun, take it off, start over. It's no big deal. I can still give you my thoughts on the formula and give you my opinions on the foundation, and we just kind of make it work. So bear with me. I do think I need to darken this just a little bit more, but I have already applied it all over my face. So I'm going to take some more of the jelly product, and I'm just going to kind of dot this around and bounce it into the skin with my sponge here, just to add a little bit more color and help this along a bit more, because this is not the right match. I needed to mix more of this bronzer into the foundation, but the foundation did blend nicely. Before doing this, I did feel like it was a little less dewy than what it looks like now. And I think it's just because this product from CoverGirl is a little bit more radiant and more hydrating with the glow, the squalane, the glycerin that's in it. So it's going to give the skin a bit of a juicy kind of plumped effect. So keep that in mind. If you have very oily skin, you may want to maybe add some of this into your matte foundation or an oil controlling foundation, because there is some hydration that comes off of this bronzer. I try to blend it a little bit more. You still see some imperfections, some little freckles from sun exposure that are coming up under the eyes, over the nose. I have some scarring, and I honestly think that the skin looks a little bit more hydrated, and it took away from that slightly more satiny matte finish that I had with just the primer on the skin. So I'm going to use this again with a different formula. We're going to move on to concealer, and again, we're going to have a concealer that doesn't quite match, but for the sake of research, I'm still gonna use it, and we're just gonna make it work, okay? L'Oreal Infallible Full Coverage Concealer. Yep, let me hear it. Lexi, where have you been? I know, tell me. Let's talk about it in the comments. I've been under a rock. I picked this up like a month or 2 ago when I purchased the foundation. Whoa, for a massive doe foot applicator though, okay. This is giving, again, those Shape Tape vibes from Tarte, right? So this is shade 330 Ivory, and I'm just going to, okay. I can't. This is really light. So I'm going to just do 1 dot, and I'm going to use my beauty sponge and just kind of tap this in. Whoa. You're watching and you're probably thinking, this chick doesn't know what she's doing. I'm normally not this bad, guys. I'm normally not this bad, y'all. Okay. This looks really smooth. It blended in very easily, and it doesn't look too heavy, to my surprise. I did not really care for the foundation, to be honest with you. The Freshwear, whatever it's called, I will link it for you down below in case you want to try it for yourself. I didn't personally vibe very well with that formula, so I'm surprised that I actually like this concealer. I don't have a new setting powder, so I think what I'm going to do is use my Maybelline Fit Me in Fair Light. Progress check. I know I still look crazy. I hope I didn't scare you. This foundation does not look very good when it's set with the Maybelline Fit Me powder, which is weird because it's the same Fit Me line, same brand. I did use my powder puff and I pressed over the whole face with whatever was left. And it's looking very kind of powdery, just kind of thick. This is just not, around the brows, it doesn't look very good. It's not too bad around the nose, not my favorite though. Right around this area here around my mouth, it's not quite as smooth as I'd like it to be. And the same thing with my chin, just like in this area is a little bit drier than this side. I'm not sure if the camera is showing you all of this. But we're gonna move on and do the brows because these brows need a lot of help, okay? I am going to use my Maybelline Build-A-Brow. I absolutely love this brow pen. It is perfection. I have it in the shade Ash Brown. And I'm also going to use their new Super Lock Brow Glue, which is a very, very good option from the drugstore. It holds very well. I also pulled from my L'Oreal collection of products the Infallible Brows. And this is in the shade Dark Brunette, and I think this is just supposed to be a tinted brow gel. So I think I'm going to start with this. The applicator is pretty loaded with product, which I don't really like. And I did notice that there's tiny little fibers to help with filling in the brows. And I think it's because this is supposed to be a volumizing formula. So that's what that looks like, just that on its own. So I'm going to tread softly. I'm going to comb this through though with a spoolie and then kind of fill in a few little gaps with the Maybelline. Brows are complete. The color's too dark. This dark brunette is not the right shade for me. This looks nearly black when it's applied. So I try to go as light as possible, scale back on the Maybelline product that I use to fill in the gaps of the Build-A-Brow. I think I probably should have gotten a lighter shade than I thought I would need because I didn't think this was going to be very pigmented. This is intense. This is a lot. Not my favorite, and I think it's just for the color. I think that it deposited enough formula. I feel like it definitely combed through really nicely, but the tone is just not right. So we're going to balance things out. Everything is going to come together in the end, and I'm just going to rock the darker brows today. I need to do some bronzer. I don't have a brand new bronzer launch to share with you, so I just pulled from my collection the Milani Silky Matte bronzer in the shade number 02 Sunkissed. So I'm going to use that today, and I'm going to blend that in with one of my favorite Real Techniques brushes, and I'm going to start adding a little bit of color back into the skin because I'm looking a little flat, and this is going to help me out quite a bit. So that bronzer definitely was a saving grace here. I feel like it kind of smoothed and blurred the way the skin looks in this area. I did have to apply a lot of this to sort of make the face kind of balance out with everything else. And to make it a little bit more of a better match for me, I love that formula from Milani. If you have not tried this matte bronzer, I definitely recommend that you pick that up the next time you go shopping at the drugstore because it is phenomenal. And I love that it is a nice silky matte blendable formula. Let's talk some blush. I pulled these blushes from L'Oreal. These are the Lumi Lay Liquid blushes. I did a review on 2 shades. I initially purchased Dewy Worth It and Dewy Bright Pink, which is this one here, the Dewy Worth It and the Bright Pink. Those were the 2 that I used in a video, and I just went back and I bought another shade. This is the Dewy Rich Coral. So they have a new range of liquid blushes. There's 3 colors in the Dewy formula, and then there's, I think, 3 that are more luminous. I don't have the luminous ones because I don't like that finish in my blush. These are beautiful. They're blurring. They're easy to work with. They do have some pigment, but they're not scary and intimidating. If you haven't seen these yet, I will link my video down below for you, but these have a large doe foot applicator. You could dot, you could swipe. And I also did compare these to the new liquid blushes from Maybelline, the Sun Kissers. So that's another video that may be helpful for you to decide which brand you want. because I personally don't think you have to buy them all from L'Oreal or Maybelline or have both of them. Just choose the formula and the color that you like from either of those brands, because they're kind of around the same price point and they do blend and perform exactly the same just about. So I may have already spoiled that for you, but check out that video. I'll have it down below in the description box. I think it would be helpful so you can see them two go head to head. But let's go ahead and apply some of this. And what impressed me the most about this formula, and since I've been using the other two shades that I initially purchased, is that I can go right over set foundation, I can go over a powder bronzer, and it doesn't skip, it doesn't pull, it doesn't drag, it goes right over it, and it just continues to add that sort of blurred effect to the skin. So it's really special, the formula. They did it right. Thank you, L'Oreal. And that color, lightly diffused and applied, is stunning. But we do have to do a little bit of highlighter. And can you believe that I have yet to use the Super Shock highlighters from Colourpop? I ordered one shade, I picked up lunch money. It's a pearlized finish. This actually looked a little lighter on the website. In person, and it looks a little bit more of a kind of yellowy champagne. So I hope that it doesn't look too yellow applied onto the skin. I've used their Super Shock shadows before, and it's a very interesting texture. It's kind of bouncy, kind of moussey, very pigmented, super soft to the touch. When you put your finger in it, it will leave an indentation and you can see your finger imprint on it, which is pretty neat. It's different. I would suggest that you have your cap on your highlighters, your blushes, or your eyeshadows that are in that formula really nicely tight and secure. Otherwise, it will dry out and then it's not going to function the way it should. You may not be able to see it really close with my ring lights and these really big lights off to the side. You won't be able to see, but there's a little bit of an indentation there and you can see the marks from my brush. This is a Real Techniques 242. It's actually a concealer brush, but I like using it for highlighter because it's kind of flat, as you can see there. And it just sits really nicely on the tops of the cheekbone. It's a perfect brush for this. Ooh, yes. That is stunning, okay? It's beautiful, wow. Okay, I'm excited because now I feel like things are looking up. The foundation did me dirty, but not the highlighter, not the blush. CoverGirl has some new eyeshadow sticks, and I believe I may have featured one, the Bronze Glow. I'm not sure if I use this in my CoverGirl One Brand video, but I did pick up another shade so that I can have some variety. I picked up the shade 340 French Violet, which looks to be like a really pretty kind of smoky amethyst type of shade. So I think I want to try these and see how these work and how pigmented they are and how well they last and if they crease on me. I also do have some of the Maybelline Color Tattoo eye sticks. This is a matte one and the color is I Am Determined, which is a really dark brown, which could be like an easy liner kind of look. So I thought I'd try some sticks from the drugstore, kind of compare them and maybe do a video on that. If you're interested in seeing that, let me know. It's your typical twist up type of component and you can scribble it directly on, which I will, right on to the lid. Ooh, that's pretty. It's creamy, it's pigmented. You see that? Kind of smoky. You see that kind of grayish undertone. And you definitely see the purple. It's not like crazy purple, but it's there. It's a nice soft violet is an accurate name, I would say, for this color. I'm going to quickly blend this out before it sets. This is an e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. And I'm just going to work this back and forth a little bit. Just kind of tapping. I do feel like it sets pretty quickly, so by the time I scribbled that on and went and found my brush, it's already kind of difficult to work with. So I would recommend doing one eye at a time for sure with this formula. I'm going to take that same color and I'm just going to run that right on the lower lashes as well. Why not? Let's see how this wears down in the lower lash line. If it's gonna move around, if it's gonna stay, I will let you know in the description box. This is where we're at. I took some on a fluffy brush. I kind of worked it off of the actual product and blended that. This is actually another good brush from e.l.f. This is their crease brush. It looks like that. And I took just a little bit of it right in the crease area so that it looks a little bit more blended instead of it just being a strip of product where I just blended on the lid and then forgot about everything else. So to make it more cohesive, I blended just a little bit up towards the crease. Again, blend under the lower lashes. Debating if I should do some eyeliner today. I pulled a couple new ones. I showed you that shadow sticks from Maybelline. This is the dark brown I Am Determined, which is a matte. I think I could use this as liner or for tight lining. But the other two are different types of formulas. CoverGirl, this is the Perfect Point Ink Plus. This is the gel eyeliner pencil. I don't even know what the color is. Like, it's not on there. It's number 295. But it's supposed to be like a kind of berry type shade. I did purchase their new mascara that has a berry tone to it, and I forget what it's called. I did a review on it, and honestly, I'm not really a fan of that color. It just looks a little intense. And then the other one is the Tattoo Studio Ink Pen. This is a matte black. I haven't used this from Maybelline. This has been out for a while. This looks really intense, so I'm kind of scared. I don't know if I should do a liquid liner that may be quite bold. So let's, you know what? Let's do the Maybelline. Let's try this out and see what this is going to look like and just see where this takes me. This may be enough. I may want to go in with something darker, which I think I am. It's not as dark as the cap. The cap is a little misleading here. A little bit misleading. Yeah, not dark enough for liner. I think I'm just going to use this for the lower lashes going forward. I'm going to switch to something else. Let's just, you know what? Let's just go for the liquid liner. Let's do something dark and bold. Who cares? Whoa, that is Riche. Holy moly. Okay, I can breathe. I can breathe now. Wow. Wowee. Do I always hold my breath? Because this is really intense. It's dark. It's black. The ink flows really nicely on this. I like this. I do see myself using this absolutely again. Let's finish the eyes off with the Maybelline Firework Mascara. I have already reviewed this as well. I bought this as soon as I saw it on the Ulta website. This actually does give you a lot of length, a lot of thickness, a lot of drama to the lashes. The wand is super flexible and really soft, so it kind of doesn't feel very sturdy. So just kind of build it gently, and you will see that it gives such a nice look to the lashes. Mine is still a slightly more wet formula because it's still fairly new. I've only used this a couple of times. It hasn't been out for very long, maybe about a month, I think, tops at this point. But I did share with you my thoughts and my opinions initially, and I've used it since then, and I do really like it. It's another winner from Maybelline. I'm going to take a little bit of that Lunch Money highlighter from Colourpop, and I'm going to use that for my inner corner highlight with a Colourpop E29 brush. I'm going to take a little bit around the brow bone. This formula is so creamy. It's kind of like applying a cream, honestly. It's so cool. So moving on to lips, I wanted to share with you some brand new lip liners from L'Oreal. They have a formula that's called the Color Riche Lip Liners, the Anti-Feathering Formula. I have one shade that I've used before and I actually really like it. It lasts all day, it's creamy, it's very pigmented, but recently they came out with two new shades. They have a shade called Worth It and then Worth It Medium. So they're giving us two different options or varieties for a very similar shade. I did go ahead and swatch them for you. The first swatch here is the Worth It and then Worth It Medium. And I think that offering these two shades is really nice because the lighter one is great for more fair to light skin tones. Anyone with medium, tan, or deeper skin tones may get some good use out of the deeper shade, the medium option. Now, I don't know if they're going to come out with a deep version just because this one is called Worth It Medium. It's kind of similar to what Charlotte Tilbury did with her Pillow Talk. She came out with the original formula and then did options for different skin tones, which I actually do like that they include everybody. So maybe we'll see some more shades of these, but these are super creamy, very, very pigmented, and the colors are beautiful. You may be noticing some other swatches. We're going to talk about these new Maybelline Lifter liners. I bought a few shades when they were just on Amazon. Like, these were brand new. Nobody knew about it. It wasn't on their Instagram. Nowhere on social media did I see anything about these. I saw it just kind of surfing on the Amazon app looking at products. And I thought, wait a minute. I picked up two shades. I reviewed those. I went back for more because these are so good. They're creamy. They're pigmented. They last for hours and hours and hours. I have just barely any lip balm on that I've been wearing since I did my skincare, and I will kind of wipe that off, and once I go in with this as my first step, I will line and fill, and then top it with either a gloss, a lipstick, or maybe lip gloss and lipstick, they don't go anywhere. And they fade so well, at least the shades that I picked up. So the new shades that I picked up are On It and Out of Line. So On It was that shade that I mentioned in that video. I think I kept that part in the video that I was kind of on the fence about. It did look a little bit more of like a cooler brown, and I ended up buying it because I couldn't get it out of my mind. So this is the On It shade, and then right next to it is the shade called Out of Line. So On It and Out of Line. So do you see it's a little bit cooler for more of a sculpting kind of look, and then right next to it, it's a little bit more of a rosy, a little bit deeper. Since some of these are pulling a little bit more rosy and I have some purpley kind of vibes going on, I know my home makeup doesn't go very well. I've got a coral cheek, I've got some purple eyeshadow. I'm just wild today. Just bear with me. I think I'm gonna start with the L'Oreal one in the Worth It Medium. And this is what it looks like, just lined. I have not filled in the lips yet. I wanted you to see this color, and I do need to clean this up a little bit, but just for swatch purposes, I wanted you to see the Worth It Medium. And here is Worth It Medium lined and filled just on its own. New lip glosses. I'm a gloss girl. These are the new e.l.f. Sun Boss Gloss. What a name. I picked up 2 shades. Of course, I had to pick up some pinky tones because that's just so me. The coolest thing about this is not only are the shades really pretty, but these contain an SPF 25, which is perfect for this time of the year when we're outside more often than we are in the cooler months. Having some SPF is super important because honestly, I will be very transparent. I do forget to put SPF products on my lips. I always forget it, so it's nice to know that my gloss is keeping me covered with that, and I'm gonna show you these shades. The first shade is, oh my gosh, these names are so small. What the heck? Pink Me Girl. Pink Me Girl. And Blush Much, which is a little bit more pink, and this one's just a little bit more mauve-y. Let's do the mauve first because I think that's gonna be a better match for this lip liner. The smell is a little coconutty slash suntan lotion slash SPF. It's like a combination of all 3 of those things in one. I like the smell. Ooh, that's nice. I like that color. That's so pretty. So here is that lip gloss, the Sun Boss Gloss with SPF 25 in Pink Me Girl. This is the Sun Boss Gloss from e.l.f. in Pink Me Girl over the L'Oreal Worth It Medium Lip Liner. I'm tempted to show you a different lip combo. I want to try this other lip gloss from e.l.f., but I also want to try On It from Maybelline, the Lifter Liner. This is that cooler brown. I will show you the swatch of it again. It's this one right here. So I think this might be a better option to go with the cool vibes of the eye. Well, that's brown. That's a lot. Here is the Maybelline Lifter Liner in On It Just Lined. And here is the Lifter Liner from Maybelline in On It Lined and Filled. This color is quite brown and it does have that cool vibe. I think it's going to be a good sculpting liner to do it lightly, then to kind of feather and blend it out either with my finger or brush. The color on its own is definitely not me. I don't typically wear a lot of brown tone lips, but there are many that like this type of shade. I wanted to show it because I do think it's quite unique to have a kind of cool tone brown shade that isn't really deep and dark. I mean, this is dark because my skin is more fair, but if you have medium skin, deep skin, tan skin, this is gonna look a little bit different on you than it does on me, so keep that in mind. I do wanna show you this other gloss from e.l.f. This is the Blush Much. This one is the one that has the most pink out of the 2 that I purchased. And here is a look at Blush Much right on top of the On It lip liner from Maybelline. I wanted to show you what happens when you take off those lip liners from Maybelline. They do leave a bit of a staining effect behind. And I think that's what makes them fade so nicely, is that they retain that pigment on the lips. This is another lip combo that I wanted to show you. I did not film the application, so I did the L'Oreal Worth It liner. So the lighter of the 2 shades that L'Oreal came out with. And then I topped it with the e.l.f. Sun Boss Gloss in the Pink Me Girl. This one is the one that has just a little bit more of a mauve tone compared to the other one that's a little bit more pink. And this is definitely more my speed. This is so me right here. I love this, and I will be definitely doing this exact combo again because I love the way that looks, and I just wanted to show you that just to give you a third lip look for the day. Why not? One thing I wanted to show you really quickly before I forget yet again is the Jelly Opal Glow Skin Enhancer from CoverGirl. I showed you this at the start of the video when I talked about the bronzer and these two being a new launch for the brand along with the primers, but I didn't actually apply it when I was doing the highlighter portion of the video. I'm going to apply that product from CoverGirl with a brush. Since I already have highlighter, I want to just kind of lightly tap this on. This is a Real Techniques 099 brush. This came in a set of a few brushes. I got these a while back from the Ulta website. So I'm just going to kind of work that gel into the brush, and I'm going to pat this right on top of the Lunch Money. Now I get that you're not going to see truly the exact level of sheen this has because there's already highlighter applied, but I wanted to show you what it would look like and kind of demo this because I did forget to use this first in that portion of the video. So I wanted to show you really quickly layered on top. It definitely elevated the glow that you're seeing, and it does create kind of a balmy look to it, right? Do you see that when I move my face? I'm going to apply the same highlighter with the same brush on my hand so you can see. It's very, very soft, but when I move my hand and it catches the light, you do see it has a really soft sheen to it, a little bit of a glow. So I'm layering some more and just kind of tapping it just like I did on my face, just that tapping motion, and it does build up nicely. And you can see it a little bit more intense there. So it's a little bit of a customizable formula where it's thin, you can do a little bit, you can gradually build for more intensity. And it does feel slightly, a little bit sticky, maybe just because I just applied it, but it does feel like there's something there. So if you don't like that feeling of product on the skin, you may not like this. And this may dry down. Again, wear notes, check it out. It may tell you there. I hope that this was fun. This was actually fun for me because I was able to sit down and try brand new products that were new launches, some new products that I bought for my collection that I haven't had a chance to play around with much, and I just decided to turn the camera on and share my thoughts along the way. So if you stayed till the end, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for new videos like this in the future. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out when I post a video. I post every Tuesday and every Friday, so 2 videos a week. I also do post periodically on Instagram as well. I will put my username here, so you can follow me there. We can be friends. We can chat there if you'd like. You can also follow me on LTK. I'll put all that stuff down in the description box so that you can find me in other places besides YouTube. Thanks for being here, for watching. Take care, and we'll talk very soon. Bye-bye.